we are at Midstate Trail and we're going to try and do it today. And one of our focus points is going to be trying to identify geologic formations that occurred because of the Ice Age. So here we go. Okay, so we are at a little pond. I do not believe this is a kettle pond. I think it's probably just a pond that was, because of rain and fall off over the millions of years. Regardless, it's a cute little pond. We are at the bottom of Mount Watatic, so it always could be a kettle pond, but you just don't know. And shortly, you'll get to see some of the big old rocks that came down because of the glaciation. All right, we're headed into the forest. As you can see, here's some of the stones that were pushed down because of the glaciation during the melting. And I'm sure these were stacked up because it's a trail. Say it again.
Featured exposed bedrock with glacial striations and scattered erratics.
All right, we are headed up the path and you can see all of the rocks. And I'm sure there's some erratics here, but I don't know what size an erratic boulder would be. But as you see, these did wash off during the Ice Age, the end of the Ice Age. Okay, so break time for a few minutes. So we're sitting in some boulders. I would assume maybe these are chips off of a erratic, or maybe they're considered erratic boulders. I don't know. Anyways, check out the beauty. So we'll be back on the hike in a few minutes. We are going that way up the big hill versus heading towards what it says is Watatic Summit. They're both nasty trails, but my opinion is let's go the shorter of the two, even though this one is straight uphill. So we're taking another break. Let you look at the scenery here. Isn't this freaking beautiful? There's only a few pieces of foliage starting to change color, like right there. It's gonna be so beautiful as it keeps changing. So, check it out. So, Stephanie stopped to record below me. And I'm sitting on a big rock. And she's sitting on a big rock. Boulder. All right. So still taking a break. As I said, it's beautiful out here. I keep having to take breaks because of, being morbidly obese, and I keep getting tachycardic. So, you gotta stop and let your heart rate calm down and get back up and go. So, cheese. Steph just found a very nice tree to sit in.
Nice. Gives me a nice view. I feel like a queen.
So you said that's called lichen?
I think so.
Pretty cool. Yeah, I of course think of it as mushrooms, but we'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I think it's lichen.
I love learning new things.
Me too.
Can you imagine what it was like here whenever the Ice Age ended and everything just blew down, and can you imagine what it... I mean, they've moved rocks and stuff out of the way, I'm sure. There's no way that they didn't, you know. But yeah, the small rocks are here, and the boulders are over there. And it's just astounding. That's one thing that would be really cool about time travel. Being able to go back, like, you know, 10,000 years to see what things look like. Am I crazy?
Super crazy. No.
What do you think?
Time travel for, yeah, that kind of exploration, I think I could get behind.
Yeah.
Doing it for assassinations and political change.
No.
I think people abuse it that way.
Yeah.
But for study, yeah.
My goal is to provide some basic information about the Ice Age and the geologic findings after the melt-offs. Today, the focus is on erratic boulders, also called glacial erratics. They are large rocks that have been transported from their original location and deposited in a new area by a glacier or iceberg during an ice age. Apparently, the glacier ice sheets move then. As it advances, it would pick up pieces of rock and debris from the bedrock. Mind bending enough, these erratics and rocks could be moved hundreds of miles as the ice moves. The question I asked during our hike about what size erratics are is amazing. They can range in size from small rocks to gigantic boulders, the size of a house. I am curious, of course, about the erratic we found today. Where did it come from? How far was it shoved during the movement of the ice sheets? Next, I want to cover the processes that occurred during glacial erosion. First is abrasion scouring. The debris in the basal ice scrapes along the bed, polishing and gouging the underlying rocks, similar to sandpaper on wood, producing smaller glacial till. Second process is plucking. Pieces of bedrock are cracked off by glaciers, producing larger erratics. Ice thrusting is the third process, where the glacier freezes to its bed, moving large sheets of frozen sediment at its base along with it. Lastly is glacially induced spalling. Layers of rock are spalled off the rocks below the glacier during ice lens formation. This provides smaller debris, which is ground into the glacial basal material to become till. Thanks for joining us on our hike today. My goal is to document these glacial gems over the next few months of hiking that are close by. If you enjoy our hike, be sure to subscribe, comment, and like.
Well, we're nearing the end. I didn't make it to the top, kept getting tachycardic. So we've turned around and come down to the bottom of the trail.
Yeah.
Time to say goodbye.
Goodbye, farewell.
I don't remember all the words to that. Good.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that's close.
Something.
Yeah. So anyways, we're at the end of the trail, and I am going to say ta-ta for now. Do you want to say anything?
Look at the water right now. It's got like an oily overcast to it. That's kind of cool. Marbly looking. But no, I don't have any closing comments other than get outside, people, go hiking.
That's a good comment.
Right?
Pay attention to what Stephanie just said. Get outside, go hiking.
Yeah.
Enjoy nature.
Exactly, it doesn't matter.
Here's a beautiful moment from the trail, a plus-size adventure making her way through autumn's stunning display. The forest is alive with birdsong and changing colors, reminding us why we love these wild spaces. Though this hike was positive, please know these stories aren't always positive. Forests are disappearing, habitats are threatened, and the natural wonders we love are at risk. Every step we take in the outdoors reminds us how important it is to protect and preserve these treasures for the future. Please be aware the USDA has opened a public comment period about its proposal to revoke the roadless rule established in 2001, established prohibitions on road construction and timber harvesting. This choice that Secretary Rawlins made will remove protections on approximately 45 million acres of national forests, including the inventoried roadless areas that contain over 420 miles of the Continental Divide Trail and more than 1/5 of the 260,000 acreage in the White and Green Mountain National Forests in New England are at risk. We cannot afford to lose our roadless areas. We have until September 19th to submit our comments to the USDA. The link is provided below, as well as links to articles revealing the impact that this would do to our protected lands. Nature has so many stories to tell, and every rock, tree, and trail has a history worth exploring. Thank you for joining us today on this beautiful trail. Protect our forests, preserve our future.